In this video, I'm going to go over the broken token Deepwater Organizer for the board game Lords of Waterdeep. It's a game we play here often. We really enjoy it. It goes up from 2 to 5 players and has a really well published and produced game. All the pieces are really nicely made. There are a ton of components and actually a refreshingly well-made tray that you don't see very often in most games where they just toss things in bags and throw them in the box. One of the things that I did recently was sleeve the game so all of the cards stay nice and clean and pristine, and that unfortunately made it so they don't fit in the box terribly well. One of the other problems is it's a 5-player game, and with the expansion Scoundrels of Skullport, it adds a 6th player with its own box and its own cards and its own extra little boards and its own 6th player. So this, as you can see, is kind of unwieldy. That's where this insert comes in. This should fit inside the main game and let me store all the components in the one box with the cards sleeved. So I'm going to go ahead and put this together and see how this goes. Okay, so all together, this now contains the entirety of the game minus a small stack of cards and a die, which I'll get to in a moment. So, pull the lid off. We've got all 6 mats for the game, including the extra one from Skullport for the 6th player. We got both manuals. We have the board. We've got the additional expansion boards for the extra places. I'll show you something interesting I did with these in just a moment. And then we have the reason you're here, the box. So the box is pretty great. It fits snugly in here. It's nice and sturdy, despite what you saw with my troubles with the tray earlier. It fits all the buildings. You can separate them by the core and both of the expansions. All these dividers slide in and out really easily. You've got a pocket for each player, including the 6th gray player. And you have the tray in the center that has all the different resources, as well as the gold, the victory points, the additional little pieces, the leader marker and the extra agents, and the skull tokens from Skullport. You also have spots for the cards with movable dividers as well. It comes with 4 of them. I only have 3 in here, but there are 4 total. Now the reason these are separated is, one, I play usually without the Skullport expansion, so we don't use these tokens very often, or the cards that go with it. So they're separated, and they're also so freshly sleeved that the sleeves haven't been worn down, so they don't compact very well like the rest of the set. So as we play with these, they will likely fit just fine. They fit almost all the way as it is. You can see they're almost in there. The more this sleeve set gets played, the better everything will fit in here. And the unsleeved will clearly fit without a problem. And what I really like is we usually have to play with a banker of some kind with the whole box up on the table, which is pretty substantial, considering the board and everybody's play space is also pretty big. So what will be neat is the banker can lift this out and set this at the side of the board to help control the resources. Now, I'll likely do a spot of tape on each of the corners, because if there's too much tweaking here, it could potentially come apart. I may do a spot of glue and a spot of tape here and there to help make sure the structural integrity is sound, but it is very, very well put together. I think this is going to add a lot to our ease of getting in and out of a game and cleaning it up in the future as we play more rounds of this. We also have a dice which belongs in here to determine who goes first, and that's just because we don't like rules in board games that say the oldest goes first or whoever had the worst day. We like to even the playing field by adding a dice to games that have those kind of mechanics. But that's it. This is the Broken Token Deepwater add-on for the Lords of Waterdeep game, and I like it. It's pretty awesome. I almost forgot to show you what I do instead of these. These take up a lot of space for only 3 places to go, much more than 3 little building cards. And when your table space is limited, with this board being as large as it is, these are kind of a burden, especially if you're playing with all 3. That's a lot of extra real estate on the table. So what I've done is I've taken some craft 2-sided tape as well as some extra card sleeves and added photocopies inside of a card sleeve piece, the little spaces, so we can stick them directly to the board. And since we mostly play with the Undermountain expansion, these typically stay attached to the board. It doesn't affect the board at all because it's removable double-sided tape meant for this kind of thing, and we just kind of leave them stuck on the board in places where the board, when it folds, isn't going to interfere. And so they stay in the center of the board. They're in everybody's line of sight instead of off to the side of the board, and you can't really notice that they're add-ons unless there's glare coming from the outside light. But that's what we do. It works pretty great. We've put them in card sleeves and just sealed them with the food saver. So that's what we do with the extra boards. I'm gonna make more for the Skullport just to have and keep in the box. I'll likely still need to keep this guy in the box because this is a major mechanic with the corruption tokens, but outside of this, that's only 1 extra board instead of a bunch of them. And I might be able to find a way to make this smaller too. But I haven't figured that out yet. But that's what I do with the extra expansion pieces and boards. It seems to make gameplay go a little better and have more space on the table.